Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I am your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. I am beginning a series on prophecies for 2015, and I call this program Bible Prophecy 2015, Obama versus Putin. And I have been here on YouTube over 6 years explaining that both Putin and Obama are found in Bible prophecy. In fact, Daniel chapter number 11 is all about the defeat of America by Russia. And the key verse is verse number 40. All the other 44 verses point to that verse. And I have explained many times on here that Vladimir Putin is the last king of the North and Barack Obama is the last king of the South. And I believe that Putin must nuke America this year. I don't believe Jesus is going to shorten the days any longer. In fact, if Putin does not nuke America this year, I believe the Illuminati will replace him with someone who will nuke America. So now let's watch a short clip from a video which I posted here on YouTube way back on September 9th, 2008. Well, it's interesting if you look on a map, you'll see that there is a country due south of Jerusalem, and that country is Kenya. And we are considering for president, even today, a man whose forebears came from Kenya. Could Obama be the next and last king of the South? The king of the South who will lose World War III to the de facto premier of Russia, namely Vladimir Putin. So, as you can see, over the years, my message has not changed. How many more days, weeks, and months do you think our Lord is going to give us? I have been warning America for 6 years. And before me came a really great prophet to America, Dmitri Duduman. And I have been watching his videos lately. You really should watch them also. He suffered a great deal to bring his message to America. And I'll put his name on the screen. And I won't put his links below because you can check it out yourself. And he specifically mentions the American cities that will be nuked. New York, Miami, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego. In fact, you will notice those cities are near bodies of water. And I have said many times on this program, you must leave all 4 locations of Babylon. Remember, John says, "Go out from her, my people, if you want to avoid her plagues and her sins." And her spiritual location is in a desert. John says he goes into the desert and he sees the whore riding the scarlet beast. The whore is primarily America. The scarlet beast is primarily Russia. He says he sees the woman sitting in a throne as a queen, and she says, "I will not suffer widowhood. I will not see sorrow." And America is going to see a great many widows and a great deal of sorrow. Her geographical location is on many waters. Now, that is both symbolic and literal. And literal means you need to get away from large bodies of water, such as the east and the west coast. And her geopolitical location is astride the scarlet beast. In other words, she controls communism. And very shortly, communism will control America. And I am very happy to report that a few of the other people here on YouTube are beginning to understand the importance of Obama versus Putin. In fact, Paul Bagley is very upset about these protests taking place in Moscow. I think he is beginning to realize that, yes, indeed, I have been correct all along, and for 6 years here on YouTube, that Vladimir Putin is the last king of the North, and Barack Obama is the last king of the South. So, Paul, take it away.
So here's the deal. mass amounts of people started chanting "Away with Putin" outside the Kremlin, and 100 of them have been arrested.
Well, like I say, I believe these protests are dissatisfaction being expressed by the Illuminati that Putin is not doing his job. He must respond to Obama pushing him, and Obama has been provoking him ever since he took office, just as I said he would 6 years ago before he was elected. I don't care whether it's in Libya or in Georgia or South Ossetia or whether it's in Iran or wherever across the globe. Obama has been provoking Putin, just as it says in Bible prophecy. What does it say in Daniel 11, verse number 40? And at the time of the end, this is different than all the previous verses in Daniel. This is the end times Daniel is prophesying about. Don't tell me that Daniel is not an end times prophet. Shall the king of the south, Kenya is due south of Jerusalem, push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind. This is going to be a very sudden attack by Russia on the United States. With chariots, well, chariots would be mechanized vehicles in today's language, and horsemen, and many ships. Vladimir Putin has nuclear submarines off all the coasts of America. And he shall enter into the countries, that's both Britain and America, and shall overthrow and pass through. So, now I understand your concern, Paul Bagley. What else have you got to say?
So this is becoming, I remember the days of Boris Yeltsin. I remember the rallying and the fever pitch to get rid of Boris Yeltsin back in the day in Russia.
Well, I don't see Boris Yeltsin in the same category as Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is not going to put up with Obama's nonsense much longer, in my opinion. Remember, during the Sochi Olympics, Obama was very proud to send a homosexual delegation to Russia. And what did Vladimir Putin say? He said, they are welcome. Just keep them away from our children. Personally, I think that is why Obama is bringing these sanctions on Russia more than the fact that they have gone into the Ukraine. In any event, what is your next comment, Paul Bagley?
So there is, again, these sanctions are affecting Vladimir Putin's ability to lead his nation. And it's put the bear in a corner. And I mean, the question's going to be, does Putin survive this? Is this the beginning of a revolution?
Well, that's a fair question. I agree, Paul Bagley. As I say, if Putin does not nuke America, he will be replaced. The Antichrist is almost in full charge of the world at this moment. He must bring down three kings, Britain, Russia, and America, and they must destroy each other with nuclear warfare.
Is this the beginning of a coup, or does he stamp it down hard? And is there not enough momentum to remove him yet? Or is he going to overcome the opposition and continue to lead Russia? And can he bring them back to prominence? These are huge questions. I don't have the answers.
You don't have the answers? Well, Paul, you came to the right place. I do have the answers. Vladimir Putin must respond to Obama's provocations, as described in the book of Daniel. However, what neither you nor any of the other false prophets, and I'm not saying you're a false prophet, Paul Bagley, you've done a lot of good things here on YouTube, but the false prophets will never tell you how to defeat the forces of the Antichrist. 666 is defeated by Mary's Rosary, which is 555. In fact, the whole chapter of Daniel 11 is built on a verse structure. The first 12 verses are in a 4-4-4 sequence. That indicates Barack Obama in the United States. The next 18 verses indicate the Antichrist, 666. But the last 15 verses are in a 555 sequence. And that tells us that there is a solution. And you and I must begin praying our rosaries now. We must go onto the battlefield knowledgeable in our weapons. No soldier wants to go onto the battlefield not knowing how to defeat the enemy. And as always, if you would like more information about my ministry, please visit thirdeaglemedia.com website.